Hi everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In my last video, I taught you how to sync your DAW and your PortaStudio together so you can have unlimited tracks and very little drifting. I used a Mo2 MIDI generator and decoder in that video, which is fairly expensive. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use free software to generate and decode the signal. This will save you a ton of money and a bunch of headaches if you're using older generators and decoders in which you do not know how to hook up to your computer. Be warned, this is only for Mac users. I do not know if this will work on Windows. You can try, but I am not too sure as I use a Mac computer. So let's get into it. Let's go over the things you need. So the things you need in this method are pretty simple. Obviously your PortaStudio, your audio interface, your DAW, and some cable link. Just as last time, it's the whole same method, except we are replacing the Mo2 with this software instead. So if you have watched the old video, you would start from the beginning, skip the entirety of the Mo2 part, watch this, and then go back and do the rest of that video for infinite tracks. However, on here, all you need is your existing PortaStudio, your existing interface, and some cabling. So interface-wise, again, if you have a 4-track, you're going to need 4 or more inputs. If you have an 8-track, you're going to need 8 or more inputs. You do not need multiple outs for this method, as you would be using the line outputs of your interface or even the headphone out of your computer. So cabling-wise, you'll need about 5 RCA to 1/4 inch cables, or 4 RCA to 1/4 inch cables and an RCA to 3.5 millimeter jack. That's if you're going to be recording the signal from your headphone out of your computer. Now let's jump into the software. This is where you're going to need to download the software. All links are below. So the first piece of software you're going to be needing is TimeCodeClock. It is an LTC generator. This is found on Millennium help page. I'll be putting that link in the description. Just hit please download it there, and it'll start to download as a zip file. And the next thing you'll need is Figure 8 Studio Project's LockStep. This is what will generate the MTC signal, which will translate the LTC to MTC. No hardware needed. It even says that on their website. I can't believe this. This was hidden to me. I'm amazed this exists. I'm glad it exists. So let's download that. And now you have your zip files. Open those up. And then you will get TimeCodeClock and LockStep. The apps will come out of that. Move that to Applications. And the first thing we're going to do is open TimeCodeClock. Hit Open on the prompt. Double click again, and it should pop up. Now, here are some settings we're going to mess around with. We will leave it at LTC. This will generate the signal. We're going to leave it at, we're going to move it from 30 frames per second to 29.97. This is the highest LockStep seems to support. I can't get it to work at 30 frames per second, but that's close enough. So 29.97 is good to go. We'll select our output. If you're using your headphone jack from your computer, select built-in output. If you're using your interface, select your interface. The slider here, you're going to want to turn this all the way down. Do not hit play before turning the slider down. It is a very loud signal. It'll blast your ears, and you do not want to damage your ears, which you need to do music with. Now that this is ready to go, we will move on to our PortaStudio. Just like in my previous video, all you have to do is arm your PortaStudio to record. Make sure you reset your counter from the point you want to start. Take the RCA end of your RCA to 1/4 inch cable, plug that into the sub input of your Tascam PortaStudio, and the 1/4 inch end is going to go into your line output of your interface. Or if you're using a 3.5 millimeter to RCA cable, the 3.5 millimeter will go to your headphone out of your computer. We will set track 4 to BUSSR, pan all the way to the right, and turn the channel strip switch to input mic line in, and the master fader to 7. Once everything is set, we will go back into our software. We're back in our software. We're gonna hit play on our TimeCodeClock. Once you see the signal is moving, or the time is moving, I should say, go back to your PortaStudio and make sure that the levels come out to -3 dB. Remember, you do not want to go above -3 dB, as it'll cause crosstalk with these other tracks, and you do not want that. So I'm going to do that right now. Make sure that your outputs are silent enough for your ears. It is a very, very loud signal. Turn your volume all the way down for monitoring, but keep an eye out on the VU meters, -3 dBs. So I'm going to record that. All you have to do is press play and record, and then play on your software, and then you stop whenever you have enough time striped. So I'm going to stripe for 1 minute and 45 seconds because that's how long the song is. You can even stripe the whole tape through if you want to. So I'll be right back. Okay, now my signal has been recorded. I'm going to remove the sub input connection and then return to 0. Go to safe, channel strip switch to off, master slider down. All these sliders can also remain down. And now we're going to move on to the next piece of software. So this next piece of software is called LockStep. This will translate the LTC code you just recorded and turn it into an MTC signal, and it'll act as a MIDI input and output device, which is great, which is essentially what the Motu and all those other boxes are. The only two settings you will see here are MTC output and LTC input. LTC input should be changed to the input of which you have your tape out 4 going to. In my example, I have tape out 1 going to input 1, tape out 2 going to input 2, tape out 3 going to tape out 3 to input 3, and tape out 4 going to input 4. Select input 4 as that's the track where we recorded our signal. It says online and waiting. We're going to move that to the side and open our DAW. Again, just like last time, make sure you have advanced settings on. That's found by going to Logic Pro X, Preferences, Advanced Tools, and selecting Advanced Editing down here in the bottom. Then going to File, Project Settings, Synchronization, and this window will appear. These settings will not be the ones you use. The ones you have there on default, you will be changing it to Sync Mode, MTC, frame rate to 29.97. It can even auto-detect the format of MTC coming in, which will also help. And again, make sure that your start time is at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Everything else can remain the same. Now we exit this window and we press play on our PortaStudio, and make sure that on your interface your gain is up so LockStep can hear the signal. I have a meter showing me my signal. Turn the gain knob of your interface so the signal is really high, and it'll show you that is about to touch the top. You do not want to touch the top, but you want to be near it. Whenever I press play, my PortaStudio is synced again with my DAW. Again, my PortaStudio is the master device, and the DAW is the slave device. We did this all with software for free, no hardware needed except for an existing interface and existing PortaStudio. Now you can go back to the other video, my very first video, and watch how to get infinite tracks. This is a great method to sync your DAW and your PortaStudio without any hardware, and I am very grateful for this. Thank you to the creators of LockStep and MIDI timecode or I should say TimeCodeClock, for creating these pieces of software. Thank you to you guys for watching this and having interest in this. Go make $1 million. I will see you the next time. Peace out.